So we are here at the Dallas Film Festival with Salvation Boulevard. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Please tell all of our viewers what your movie is about.
Oh, it's a very deep, important movie about spirituality. No, it's a light satire about a mega church, and it's a former Grateful Dead head played by Greg Kinnear, who's now a born again Christian, in this big mega church helmed by Pierce Brosnan as a mega pastor, and he sees something he's not supposed to see, and the whole church turns against him. And it's really about torturing Greg Kinnear's character for 95 minutes, and it's a good time.
Where'd you get the idea for this?
It's actually based on a book called Salvation Boulevard, written by this wonderful guy named Larry Beinhart, who wrote the book that the movie Wag the Dog was based on. And it's his world is political satire, and this is the same kind of thing, but deals with evangelical Christianity.
I bet that was interesting to kind of explore some of that realm.
Well, it is. I mean, every culture has comedy sort of within it, and everyone's always been afraid of dealing with the evangelical world when it's the biggest sort of part of American culture, and it's ripe for the pickings. And I grew up sort of in that world too, so there's so much wonderful, funny stuff in that world, and it's pleasantly offensive, I think, for evangelical Christians. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that have, evangelicals who have seen it, and they like it, so it's fine.
Oh,
They can handle the ribbing, Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to laugh at ourselves,
Yeah, exactly.
How about some of the actors? What is their take on the story? Did they just fall in love with it? Would they have a little?
Well, it's an insanely huge, great cast, and I think that it's just because the material was something they hadn't seen before, and it was a lot of fun. So we have Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear, and then Ed Harris comes in to play an atheist professor. Marissa Tomei plays a former deadhead, now university security guard. Jennifer Connelly plays Greg's really intense evangelical wife, and Jim Gaffigan plays the church AV guy who sort of worships Pastor Dan. And it's just a fantastic cast.
Wow, that's awesome to be able to have so many big names kind of take this movie and carry it.
Yeah, again, this was an independent film, and it was small with not much time, but we got this incredible cast, and they really worked within the confines of the limited amount of time we had to do it, and we all just had a really good time making it.
Now, I'm interested in how you personally got involved in it. Did you pick up the book and said, "Oh, I love this, let's adapt it," or?
Well, I was meeting with Kathy Schulman, who's the producer, and I was telling her about a documentary I did several years ago called Hell House, and it was about a big mega church, and she sort of picked up the phone and said, "Print out Salvation Boulevard," and hung up the phone. And when I left, they had this sort of hot printout of this book that hadn't been published yet. And so, that's how it happened. I read it and liked it, and we made a deal before the book even came out.
Oh, wow. And then when exactly did you film it?
We filmed it in June, just of 2010, yeah.
Oh, wow. And then very quick production.
And then edited over the summer and premiered it at Sundance and sold it to IFC, Sony. It's a weird combination, but Sony and IFC have partnered up to put it out. And it's coming out July 15th, so mark your calendars.
That's very exciting. What is your overall hope for this film? You said it's a satire, it's a comedy in a lot of ways. Do you have a message, or is there something
it's funny because, like I said, I grew up in this world. There's a very enormous force in our culture, but no one really is able to talk about it unless you're saving someone's soul or sort of bashing it. And I think the first step in being able to talk about something is be able to laugh at it. And this is a comedy about this world, and I think that we can all talk about it without getting angry at each other, because you can't talk about really religion without pissing people off. Is the way I've come to understand it, and this is a way I think you can. It opens up the realm for public discussion.
I think so too, and I'm excited to have more films like that open up doors for questions and everything else. And so that's great. Tell me a little bit about some of the character arcs in it. You know, a lot of films dealing with Christian messages or Christian-based, you know, they have kind of very formulaic, similar things. Person having troubles, then somehow gets saved or has an altar call moment, and then, whoo-hoo, how is this different?
I'm not going to give away the movie.
Oh.
No, well, you know, it is really Carl's journey, played by Greg Kinnear, who in a very funny way becomes a Christ figure, kind of, you know, where, you know, one of the themes is that, you know, in the debate, and actually was cut from the movie, but is that you know, this idea of what happened to Jesus, that he was a scapegoat, and scapegoat is an ancient idea that you magically sort of put all of your sins onto a goat and then drive it out into the desert, and then it dies with all your sins, and that's what communities would do. And so the Jesus story is very much a scapegoat kind of story, and Salvation Boulevard is the same kind of thing. Carl is the scapegoat for, like, kind of what happens in the movie, in the plot of the movie, and he has to, you know, and it's very funny that he has to sort of take on all of this, the guilt of what Pastor Dan has done, and so it's a parallel sort of Jesus story where Carl is comically Jesus.
Sort of. No.
Not really. I mean, no one would ever walk away saying Carl is a Jesus character, except for he was always, in our jokey way, a Christ figure. Yeah.
Now, lastly, tell me a little bit about why Dallas. What brought you guys here?
Well, I mean, Dallas is the sort of evangelical center, you know, at least part of it, Dallas and Colorado Springs. So it's fun to see how it plays here, and plus I'm a Texan. I've always played in Dallas whenever I can. I played Joshua here 4 years ago, and my other movies have always played here too.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And go see Salvation Boulevard. Where can people find out more about it?
ifc.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.